Hello once again! Welcome back to Kaizo and Cocktails. Hi there, Red Seraph, I see you in chat. You missed it last week. We are making randomized cocktails, playing hard Kaizo Mario. We are playing Quickie World 2. Good, easy difficulty in terms of Kaizo hacks. Last stream we beat 3 levels, this stream 3.5 actually. We're at a halfway point right now. I think our goal for tonight is probably 1.5 levels? I don't know. We'll see how far we get. But yeah. Let's see. I have changed our wheel spins to every 25 deaths from every 20 because we started dying a lot more frequently. Let's see. Right now we're at what? 300 and get 300. So I think we're going to do our first spin at 350 because then things just line up nicely on multiples of 25. We have 2 respins still banked, represented by our little Susies we've got here. Oh, and you can have the wrong thing there. You can just see my Blue Sky headline. That's fine. Into which browser? Aren't you? That. My wheel. There you are. There it is. Now we're good. Right, wheel has been updated and adjusted a little bit. Ketchup and condensed milk are both no longer on there. Got to experience that already. All right, well, let's get started. Let's die 10 times in a row. All right. Let me know how loud the game audio is if I need to turn it down more. I certainly can. A little bit low on my camera. There we go. Alright, let's do this. It has been a week since I have touched this game, other than like 10 minutes before stream, so I might be a little rusty. I did remind myself what I needed to do, at least for the first part of this leg. Hey, I almost made that look easy. Almost. How is everyone doing this Saturday evening? I am more tired than I would expect to be. See how much patience I have for this tonight. Finally got to have a proper rainy day here after several weeks of summer weather with no precipitation, and that's really nice even though Miles is quite mad about it. Convincing that dog to do his business when it is wet outside is a challenge. More deaths and we'll do a spin. One more death and we do a spin. All right. Looks nice and at 350. Let's go to the wheel. Sure I didn't break anything on this part of the display. The wheel back up. think I fixed my chroma key, so this time my green screening on the wheel should actually work. Well, I already did some of that, but okay, yeah, we can improve the stream layout more. Let's see, did that work? Yes, it did. Alright, the green screening there is working. Alright, we need to improve our stream layout in some way. I'll happily take suggestions from chat. Actually, I'm going to take advantage of the fact of that and drink some water before we actually get to the cocktails tonight. Even on rainy days, it's important to stay hydrated. If a clock timer for time between deaths, sounds like a pain for me to get set up. I appreciate the idea. I definitely am not doing that while I am live. More toad, get more toads in here. Here we go. Yeah, we're getting some. We're going to die of running out of time. Here we go. That's a JPEG. There we go. Toad, and also Frog. Gonna hang out and have a tea party. That's what you wanted, right, Seraph? Let's see, let's get this back over on Kaizo layout as well. Up a little bit. There. Have a nice little image of Frog and Toad in our corner. Oh, I know one more way to improve our layout here. While we're at it. Okay, I'll do that later. Happy enough to have hit a non-ingredient on our first spin. Take that. Get back at it. already feeling easier than it was last week, so I had definitely just hit my limit last week. And 25 deaths definitely feels a bit less punishing. Yeah, just getting the jumps off of those fast-falling platforms is so hard. This. And how do I fall fast enough to even get onto that one? What do I even do there? What am I doing wrong? I wasn't holding jump at all after I stepped off, so I should have been falling fast enough. There we go! Yeah! Boom! That only took like, what, 20 tries? Great way to start the day. Beating level grants us another respin. Just another Susie in there while we can. Back up to 3 Susies, which feels very comfortable. And save. Quick save slot there so I don't accidentally lose my progress. Alright, roll the bones. Ah! Alright, no time to think on this one. Just go. Okay, I have time to think once I get up to that platform. Dry bones and dice theming, very nice. Okay, and this is a crusher. Alright, looks like we are back. Sorry about that. Those appear, that was just a little internet drop. Like we are fine. PG, less fine. I imagine, with most Kaizo levels, they don't expect you to much, so I imagine it's like that. Yeah, that seems right. Alright, got this. Figuring it out, feeling it out. Does look like this level's the end of World 1. If I remember right, Quickie World 1 was only 3 worlds long. 3 worlds long. Those chompers are very easy to run into. Yeah, alright. You have the timing of that right. I just need to actually land on these dry bones. Alright, let's see. Take a moment to scope this out before we go spin the wheel. After I land on this falling platform, I need to wait a second, run to the right, and spin jump. And it looks like something in this realm of chompers over here I'll be able to spin jump off of. For now, for the cocktails. Let's duplicate a Susie in there. I have 3 respins right now. Spin that wheel. If I can't finish my water. We almost just hit stream layout again, which is incredible given that it's a 1 in 80 chance or so. 1 in 80, but like 1 in 60. Alright, anyway, we're starting with some lime juice. Great base to build a drink off of in my book. Run and grab that. This already seems better than back here. Get 1 sec. Game audio function again. Close the game and reopen it, and that should fit. There we go. There we go. That's still showing up in OBS? Yes, it is. Alright, perfect. Go out of here for a second. Show that indeed, again, we're starting with a mason jar. Just some lovely lime juice. Which, hey, let's have a sip. Delightful. Tropical. That's putting me in the right mood for this. Oh yes, there is a bone to bounce on. Looks like we need to bounce on that bone for a while. If anyone thinks that's funny, go straight back to middle school. As a proud trombonist, I don't think there's anything funny about the word bone. Back in my college days, I boned with the best of them. trombones were truly like the instrument that have the most easy sex jokes to make about them. There's the obvious boner jokes. There's also the fact that you learn different positions on the slide. You have to hit the right positions, and you're a master of the different positions. You know. And then also there's the fact that because you're using a slide, that you just need lubricant everywhere. So it's no wonder that trombonists are the best in bed, you know? I mean, they're also horny, but a lot of other instruments also get to claim the horny joke. Like, honestly, the only one that trombones don't get is that you don't have to learn your fingerings. First chunk is just kind of killing me. Feeling so good after knocking out that first checkpoint, or that first level, half level. Ah. We got this. Said we got this. Didn't listen. I will also say, you are hard pressed to find a hornier community than your high school or college band friend group. Strong competition there with like the theater kids, I feel like. Alright, let's spin that wheel again. Our second ingredient, go with our lime juice. Oh no! We're bankrupt, alright. The Susies are packing up and leaving. Oh no, invisible wheel. When we hit the bankrupt. I'm doing a bad job today. So I don't have it in me to delete the Susies, but I'm gonna go hide them behind Frog and Toad. Alright, goodbye, Susie. We'll get you back. Susie interacting with Frog and Toad does feel very much like that would fit the vibes of the Deltarune world. Ah! It also feels very Undertale to die to a sudden wave of bones. Just when you think you're safe. Okay. Get together, PB. We got this. I will say, after spending much of the last couple of weeks experiencing and re-experiencing the new Deltarune chapters, that I need to find an interstitial game where I can play Ralsei. That is a guy after my own heart. Guy who doesn't think he's real, a guy who doesn't think his feelings matter. Guy who is burdened with far too much knowledge. Yeah, relatable in concerning ways. Absolutely. Hanging out with Marn for most of Chapter 3 this last week for her birthday was very fun. Even though that was my third time going through Chapter 3. And it did kill me a little bit that we missed out on the secret stuff in Chapter 3. It was probably good we didn't get to the Shadow Mantle fight, because that would have been the entire rest of the game. Not that hard to balance on that little wiggling bone there, but I don't know, there's a psychological block there. I feel like it should be a lot harder. Shoutouts to our nice number of deaths, and it's gone. Like, I'm literally not pressing any buttons right now and balancing perfectly. I have a bad feeling about this. Oh, fuck me. Okay. We just proved that we can make it to the jackpot. Alright, yeah, no, we're beating this tonight. Easy. I imagine it's a boss fight behind that door. We'll have to see how hard that boss fight is. And whether we get a save when we go through that door or not. I don't know. More important than any of that, make sure I don't fuck up and hide the wheel this time. Alright, so far we've hit improve our layout, lime juice, and bankrupt. See if we can't... Ooh, tequila! Alright, I'm here for this. This is already sounding like the first 2 ingredients to a real cocktail. Could this be a day where we actually have it like a real drink that isn't terrible? Time will tell. There are certainly still some bad things on the wheel to hit. Alright. We're going 50-50 on the tequila and the lime juice here for the moment. Could be very, very tart. That's okay, I like very, very tart. Okay, I say that, I don't love this right now, but this has a lot of potential to be good. I'm not really a likes their tequila straight person. I'm not really a likes their lime juice straight person, though. But hey, you know what? I've had so many worse things than this here. Last week was such a worse start from here, so we are gonna count our blessings. Oh, so that's some weirdness going on with the moving pieces, like the global clock moving pieces level that sent us rocketing up there. Alright, lock in, we got this. Something I did this week was catch up on the latest series of Taskmaster. I have been behind on Taskmaster for a long time. But man, if that isn't one of the best shows on TV. Like, I fell off a few seasons ago because I felt like the tasks were getting a little bit worse and a little bit too convoluted. But this current season is so good. The entire cast has really good chemistry. Along with Taskmaster, I just discovered, I need to catch up on the, seasons 3 or 4 of the New Zealand Taskmaster as well. Because the first couple seasons of that were, very good. And I also discovered, Guy Montgomery's Guy Mont Spelling Bee, which I only knew Guy Montgomery before from Deathblart. Podcast with, and I guess also from Big Top Burger, I suppose. Nice to see all those little worlds combined. There we go. We got this. Nope, we don't got this. It is very impressive to manage to take idea of a comedians doing a spelling bee show and make something that's not just funny for one episode, but something that's funny for an entire 2 seasons. I also just saw that something that I thought only existed as 2 YouTube videos is actually now going to be made into an entire series, which is Demi Lardner's So You Wanna Win a Penis Pump. Which, as someone who likes fucked up game shows where they don't the rules don't matter at all, and they're just here to make sure everyone's having a bad time, the fact that that idea wasn't just a dumb goof-off is incredible. If you're not familiar with Demi, she is an Australian comedian who is a complete chaos demon. He manages to hit annoying little sibling energy in a way I've seen very few people manage to hit. What else do I have to talk about today as I die? Well, let's not start a new topic of conversation. We have to go to the wheel. Vanna, let's see the wheel. She's been on Wheel of Fortune for so long. Like, dream gig, you know? Oh no. Well, I guess I need to get some water boiling. Ideally, this would be like a shot of espresso, but I don't really have a great way to make a shot of espresso, so I'm just going to make a small amount of coffee. So, I'm gonna get some water boiling and be right back. Alright, I will get back up to get that brewing in a second. Now, get back to the Kaizo and maybe try to get a few more sips of our drink in before it gets destroyed. If I could have just hit like seltzer or any sort of juice or anything to just, even just shake with ice, anything to just water it down a little bit. Alright. So it goes. You know, I've had some good boozy coffee in my time. Plenty of, like, unconventional things work pretty well in coffee. I feel like this amount of lime juice, though, is more than coffee can handle. I've just started a new save file of Hades 2 because of the new update after not touching that game for like a year. And I've already been impressed with like how much new stuff is in there. So, definitely looking forward to the full release for that game. First, when Supergiant announced that they were doing a sequel to Hades rather than like another new IP, I was kind of disappointed because like all of their previous games had been new IPs and been very, very good in their own ways. But they've done a good job of making Hades 2 feel distinct enough. Why am I panicking there? I don't need to panic there. It's an easy jump. All good. Wouldn't be Kaizo game if I wasn't getting a little tilted. He used to only stay a little bit tilted. Be just bad enough at the game that you're going to beat it out of stubbornness. Not so mad at the game that you start making mistakes. That you start making extra mistakes. Mistakes are gonna happen. It's just a question of how many and how bad they are. Like that was a death from me being a little bit tilted. That was an honest mistake. That one, that was me being tilted. Let me go pour coffee. Alright, 5 more chances. 4 more chances. Man, if I wasn't bankrupt, I would have respun that coffee in a heartbeat. Alright. Oh, alright, last chance. Nope. Alright. See if we're even more doomed. Alright, we have landed on the most unwanted song. So I'm gonna go ahead and this ends up being a problem with the VOD, we'll deal with it then. I really doubt this would get copyright claimed. If you're not familiar with the most unwanted song, you're about to be.
the most unwanted music.
We're going to turn our sound off. Just to really add to the ambiance of the experience, I feel like this fits the spirit of the stream. All right. Let's see. I need to. Face came up because we are going to get our coffee in here. The Most Unwanted Song is one of my favorite things that exists. It was made by a group of researchers who, like, interviewed a bunch of people to find out, like, what elements of songs they like the most and least, and they took all of the, like, least and tried to put them into the same song. Do we have something here that looks, I don't know, like any sort of, like, brown drink that you would drink? I did say I wanted something to cut the lime juice. I need to turn the background music a little bit. Yeah, we've got a opera singer rapping about country music things. Alright. Uh-huh. Did anyone in chat have an instrument that they absolutely hated as a kid? For me, it was the banjo. The banjo would come on the radio and I would just start crying. Alright. Get back to the Kaizo of it all. Let's see if the Most Unwanted Song fills us with determination. Oh, I thought I was dead to the wall of bones there. I mean, you know what else people love alongside opera and rap is children's choirs. Alright. Oh man, I hate these guys. Oh, we might have it. Yeah! Let's go! That's how we do it. Alright, that was the easy boss. Thank you for that, making that an easy boss. Alright, we have made it to World 2. It turns out, Most Unwanted Song is exactly what we needed. Alright, let's see. We get a Susie back. Just get that back before I forget that I have her. Now the real question is, would Susie absolutely hate this? Or would she tell us to turn it up? Alright. Let's see, we're at what, 476 right now? All right, another no time to think, just go. What do people have against the tuba? Such a wonderful instrument. Hi, Slender for Gender. Thank you for joining in. You have reached a truly cursed stream on the network, where we are currently drinking lime juice, coffee, and tequila, playing Hard Mario, and listening to the most unwanted song. But hey, shout outs to y'all for the great fundraiser you ran all week. Yeah, no, this is a stream that is mostly just invented to be a prank on myself. The listeners are just along for the ride. Okay, what am I supposed to do here? I think I have it right there, but what is that coin in the near the ceiling doing then? For the record, while I do find parts of it deeply unpleasant, I also definitely have listened to the most unwanted song, like probably at least 10 or 15 times the whole way through in my life. Very specific forms of psychic damage are very funny to me. These bats. Ooh, that was slick. Maybe we have something there. I managed to jump off of that enemy while still rising, which was pretty sick. Man, I wonder what that day at the studio was like for this opera singer. Alright, as we celebrate Yom Kippur with this children's choir, we are going to... well, we're going to do all our shopping at Walmart, but also we're going to go and spin the wheel. Let's see, we've hit several things that are not drink ingredients so far today. Right now we are working with coffee, tequila, and lime. Truly a nasty mixture. Let's see what else we can add to this. We have a respin. If we hit something... I don't know if this is worth spending respins on at this point. I only put like 4 or 5 bad options on the wheel is the thing. I really didn't put very many, like, things that would ruin most other things they're in. I also really like hot honey as a condiment is the thing. I don't think it's going to improve this drink. But the wheel says we must do it. Oh, we are just not catching a break today, huh? Some days are just like that. Alright, let's see. I need to hide the wheel. Alright. Actually get this mixed in. Alright, let's see if adding some heat to this drink improves it or not. Some heat and some sugar. It desperately did need sugar. It's upsetting to smell. Smells like lukewarm coffee. Ooh, that heat hits. I didn't really measure the amount of hot honey. I just did like a squeeze of it from a squeeze bottle. Doesn't taste as much like coffee as I would expect. That is vile. That is nasty. That is not a pleasant drink. It's sour and it's spicy and it's bitter all at once. It's fascinatingly bad. It's not like disgustingly bad. It's just like, it's a lot like this song, in fact. It's doing a lot of things wrong at once. In a way that is fascinating enough that I had to go back for a second sip. Now, that's probably more a critique of me than a compliment on the drink. The number of times where on doing these streams where I've gone back for a second sip and then realized like, oh, I'm doing this on camera, oh no. It says something about me. Oh, phew, the children's choir's back. It's Labor Day! The other thing about the Most Unwanted song that you always forget is just how much of it there is. An active assault on all of the senses I've built for myself. Like the music, the music part of it is usually like the one good part of this experience. Oh, my lord. You know, when we say no one does it like Moonshot, this is what we mean. Oh, why are those two bats so annoying? Oh man. I need to really trust that these bats are gonna do what they're gonna do. Cowboy living the American way. An annoying start to a level. I think we're starting to get to the sad ending. Well, not the sad ending, but the everyone comes out on stage together ending. This would sure be something to see performed live. Alright, let's see. Such sad yahoos. Alright. That is how I'm feeling too. Let's go ahead. Spin that wheel. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? I'm using that Susie. Or sorry, excuse me. I'm using that Susie! You're gonna have to try harder than that to get me. Alright, we're gonna double a spin. Alright, double next spin. So whatever I spin next, I'm going to have to do an extra amount of. Oh, it's right on the edge. It's just the sparkling water. We just need some extra effervescence in this. Perfect. Well, I will say, adding that sparkling water did give this a good head. This looks like a light beer now, doesn't it? No, it doesn't smell like beer. I tried to convince myself maybe it smelled like beer. It does not. Oh, man. Yeah, cutting the flavors has done no favors. Oh man, there's just a bit of that coffee bitterness in there that really... I can handle the sour and the spicy. Oof. It's a rough one today. Let's see. I'm probably gonna get to one more spin and then call it for the day. Short stream tonight. But I also feel like we've already got like a pretty complete concept of a drink here. So let's get back at it. Let's see if we can't hit a midway point in the next 25 deaths. While a child screams political buzzwords into our ears. Oh, it's right there. This is doable. This is doable. This is doable. I hope this kid had a lot of fun yelling into a megaphone. That's the only thing that can redeem this. Okay, I need to trust myself to not die to the bats. Now everyone's out on stage. I just thought it was a little bit sooner. It may be you. All right. All right, we made it. And finally turn back on game sound. Whew. That's so much better. I'm glad that I got to introduce it to at least one more person, Red Seraph. Alright, we got this. We got this. We got this. You know what? I'm okay with the game sound being relatively quiet now. As long as you are. Guess I can bump it up a little bit. There we go. We got this. We got this. We got this. No. I appreciate being informed, Seraph. Let's go! Now I can actually call it for the night. We're gonna get one more spin, though. We have to. Alright, that puts us at 550. Make a save point there so we don't forget about it. Let's go and have one more spin. I don't know what orange is going to do in this, but it can't make it worse. Also, I want to point out just how close we were to the most unwanted song again. Let's get a little bit of orange juice in this, have some final tasting notes, and then we'll call it a night. be like last time, where orange juice overpowered most every other flavor. Huh? Finally ended up with a nice looking color. Kinda looks like a mango juice. There's still the distressing scent of coffee. You don't want that. Alright, cheers. Helps with the tartness a fair bit. Honestly, the little bit of heat in the back of my throat from the hot honey is kind of lovely. If this didn't smell like coffee, this would be a good drink. I don't even really taste the coffee anymore. I didn't go too hard on it compared to the rest of other ingredients. It's really just the scent of coffee that's like throwing everything else off. Other than that, this is basically a mixed drink I would make for myself. Alright. Just in the interest of science, I'm going to take the rest of the coffee that I made and add it into this. See if this becomes more of a coffee-forward drink, if it's better or worse. I have a feeling, but it's in the spirit. Gone a couple shades darker. The orange pulp in there is really adding a texture to the drink that is fine in orange juice and is distressing in most drinks other than orange juice. Yeah, that's way worse. Also feels truer to what this drink is at heart. Is more if we took coffee and fucked it up rather than coffee coming in and fucking something up, you know? I don't know, if you like sour and spicy, make this without the coffee and you're in for a good time. Using like a squirt of like hot honey instead of like simple syrup to sweeten a drink, I think is actually maybe a stroke of genius. Maybe. Depends on like if it's a drink that goes well with spice. Anyway, we're about to die to running out of time in Mario. When Mario dies, I'm gonna end the stream. So thank you for coming out tonight. Sorry for the shorter stream. Sorry for everything tonight. You know, there's one thing that this stream is here for. Oh, Mario's already dead. If there's one thing this stream is here for,